Hi guys, welcome back to my channel MiTutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to combine data from multiple sheets which have same columns and bring it into one single pivot table. So let's get started with this tutorial. So as you can see here in my sample data set, I have two different sheets here of sales from store 1 and store 2. I have the same columns in both the sheets over here. So the first thing that we will be doing here is we'll go to the insert tab and click on table. Let's convert the range to table here and then click on OK, and then let's rename this to store 1. Okay, and then let's repeat the same thing for store 2 as well. I'm going to go to insert, click on table, click OK, and then I'm going to call this as store 2. So once we have done this, and then you need to go to the data tab and then click on from table / range. Okay, so let's click on this and then the Power Query editor will pop up. So once this window appears over here, all we have to do is let us add a new column here to identify which data is coming in from which sheet or from which store. So I'm going to go to add column here, click on custom column, and I'm going to call this column name as store number, and then made a mistake again, and then I'm going to open quotes here and call this as store 1. Okay, so and then click on OK. So what this has now done is it has added a new column here called as store number, and store 1 is the store number that we have created. Okay, so I know this is store 2, so I think I should have renamed this to store 2. I'm going to quickly do that. So this is store 2. Okay, and now what we will do is we will simply right click on this and create a duplicate of this. So now and then let's right click, rename this to store 3. I think that is what it is in our sheet. Okay, and then I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to source here first and then change this to store 3. Or do we have store 1? Sorry, I think we have store 1. So I'm going to change this to store 1. Let's rename this as well back to store 1. Okay, and then the custom column that we added here is just saying store. So let's go here and change that to store 1. Okay, so make sure that we are now editing on the second query that we've created. Our first query that we have here, that is intact here, which we have the data here from store 2 and we have the store number as store 2, and here this is our store 1. So how do we know that it is store 1? You need to click on source here, and then name of the table that we created was store 1. And then if we go towards the end here, the custom table or column that we added here is in the last. Once you click on added column here, it will show you store number. Okay, so once we've done these two steps, I'm going to click on close and load to, and then once the dialog box pops up over here, and then click on only create a connection and click on OK. So once you've done that, these two queries will be created. And now what we will be doing is we will go to the data tab, click on get data, and then click on combine queries and then select append. So once you do that, the Power Query window will pop up again. Here we need to select both the tables that we created. If we have more sheets, we can click on 3 or more tables and select. Right now we only have 2, so we are doing this. We'll select store 2 and store 1 and click on store 1 and click on OK. So once we do this, we will go back again to Power Query editor. This time here we have the appended queries, new query that is added. So let's rename this to merged stores. Okay, and now when we go back to the column here that we added, we will see that we have store 1 and store 2 as well. Also notice the number of columns have increased because we've now appended both the tables. Okay, and now let's go back here, click on load and close to. Let's do this, and here we need to select an option called as pivot table report or pivot chart, whatever that you would want to create, and click on new worksheet. I'm going to create pivot table report and click on OK. So you will now see that a new pivot table has been created. So if we see here store number, we have store 1 and store 2, and we can also get the customer name and sales from both these tables. So to cross verify this, a total sales amount is 6,312 from both the stores. So I'm going to quickly do that. So quickly go here to my sales column. Sales, I'm going to do a sum of this, which is 3732. Okay, and then I'm going to come here in my store 2 table as well, and then do a quick sum of this, and let's add both the subtotals over here, which is 6312. Let's go back to our data here, which is exactly 6312 that we created. So this shows that we've now appended both the sheets into one single data table or a pivot table, right? So that's it, guys, in this particular tutorial. I hope this video has helped you. You've learned something new today. Please consider subscribing to my channel for more such tutorials.